Hi guys, Ian Johnson from driversuccess.com. Today I want to talk about proper etiquette when it comes to taking your customer out to lunch in a business-to-business marketplace. And in doing this, some of you may be wondering why I'd even bother to do a video about something like this. Well, the reality is that I can't tell you how many times I've gone out to lunch with another salesperson or even a business owner, and they've just done all the wrong things when it comes to taking a customer out to lunch. So I'm going to go over some of the most obvious issues that I've come across when it comes to taking a customer out to lunch, and some of the things that you're probably already aware of, but some of the things that maybe you're not aware of, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is time. The most important thing here is you got to understand how to manage the time within the lunch, but it all comes back to your customer. Everything begins and ends with your customer. In fact, your schedule means nothing, okay? Your customer works. When you go to visit your customer, they may have to get back at a specific time in order to attend a meeting or to take care of business. So you really have to understand what their schedule is. Well before you go to visit them, it's always a good idea to ask your customer, will you be available for lunch? Can we have lunch? How much time do you have for lunch? Even if they say no to you over the phone before you see them in person, it's a good idea to bring it up with them when you see them at around 11:30, because you'll know exactly what their time is. If they have plenty of time, they don't have to be back until 1:30, then that will dictate how far you can drive in order to take them out to lunch and what you can do. So time management is essential. Understand what your customer's schedule is and work with their schedule, okay? The second thing is, and this is surprising that I still see this, mobile devices should be turned off. Okay? If it makes it easier, leave it in the car. I once worked with an individual who made it a point to answer the phone no matter what he was doing, no matter who he was talking to. And his idea was that you always are available for the customer, but he would do it in front of customers. Okay? No customer is more important than the customer right in front of you. Turn off your mobile devices. Leave them in the car. Do not answer them. If you go in to visit a customer, it's probably a good idea not to take them in at all, okay? Nothing is more important than the customer right in front of you. So when you go out to lunch, turn off your mobile devices or leave them in the car, okay? The third thing is, honestly, you have to understand your market norms, all right? There are some industries that, frown upon you paying for lunch for a customer. Surprisingly, some companies see it as a conflict of interest. So you really have to understand what are the norms, okay? What are the norms of the company, of the market that you're in terms of how might they perceive that. Now, I've rarely come across something like this, but I did come across it once when I went to visit a customer in satellite communications down in California. And I just did not understand that he had to pay for his own lunch. It was a rule that they had in their purchasing department, and I couldn't get past it, okay? The fourth thing I want you to understand, and this is very important, is match your order to what your customer is ordering for lunch. Now, what I mean by this is, if your customer orders a soup and sandwich, it doesn't mean you have to order a soup and sandwich. But what it does mean is you shouldn't order 4 entrees and a giant lobster tail and all kinds of other stuff, okay? I was actually in a meeting with a customer where that's exactly what happened. The individual ordered a soup and sandwich because the norms in his market were to finish lunch and talk about business. Well, the individual that I was traveling with ordered 2 entrees, a full lobster, and 20 minutes after our customer had finished eating, he was still cracking lobster tails and all kinds of stuff. So just don't do it. You have to understand what your customers order. You don't have to order the same thing, but if you order something, make sure you match how your customer, in terms of when they finish. If you order a bigger meal than you anticipated, then finish it early. When your customer is finished, in some markets, that's when you start talking about business. Some customers aren't comfortable talking about business while they're eating, okay? Some customers want to eat and then talk about business. So the faster you can finish your meal and get on to business, the more fruitful that meeting's going to be, okay? So match your order. Don't go overboard. I've been with business owners who thought that culturally it was the right thing to do to order more food than anyone could possibly have eaten, but it's not always a good idea, okay? And the fifth thing you want to do is you just want to match the pace of the meeting. Okay? Part of matching the pace of the meeting is to understand that you shouldn't order more than what your customer is ordering. You shouldn't be eating long after they've finished. Just manage the pace of the meeting. You sit down with your customer, they order what they order, you order what you order. If your plate is bigger than what you thought they were going to order, or it's bigger than what everyone else is ordering, then don't finish the whole thing. Have them take it away when everyone else is finished and get on to business. So that's it, business-to-business sales. There's a right and a wrong way to take a customer out to lunch. And these are the most common issues I come across. Ian Johnson, driversuccess.com. Bye-bye.